What's up, everybody? So I just installed here on my 2015 Mustang GT a Solo Performance Axleback with these black tips, beautiful tips. I'm just going to kind of walk you guys through everything that I did because it doesn't come with directions. It's relatively self-explanatory, but there's, a couple of nuances here in the way you do it that could probably help out to know ahead of time. I'm also going to give you a couple reasons because I know that as a Mustang owner and an owner of many previous Mustangs that, of course, exhaust is the type of thing that really is kind of pretty subjective to everybody, and then it's kind of hard to pick the right one. And you don't want to go buying one that you don't like only to have to return it or try and sell it on Craigslist or eBay because you don't like the sound of it. And this is one that I don't see on eBay a lot, so I'll kind of walk you through this. Pardon me for the dirty car and the shaky camera. I'm doing this on my phone. Alright, so the piping extends back from the tips all the way back here to what is part of the stock pipes. This is kind of a Frankenstein system, as you can see down there. I have an H pipe. It's an MRT H pipe. Solo Performance does offer this as an X pipe catback, and obviously that's nice because you don't have to cut anything. It's just clamp and go. But I don't really like the sound of X pipes. I've had X pipes before, and they're just a little too rattly and raspy for my taste. I'm a big H pipe guy now, so I had that on the car before. Fortunately, you can still make it work because these 3-inch pipes do neck down to a 2.5 to mate with the stock pipes. As you can see, there comes with some pretty decent clamps. So what I basically did first was, for anybody who has a stock system and is doing this, you're gonna have to take the whole thing off back there. Here, but back where the H pipe meets up, just past the catalytic converters up there. You're gonna have to take that off. It'll come off as one piece. You basically just unbolt. There's some slide clamps up there. You unbolt it from there, and then you just gotta slide it off the hangers. You can see there's a hanger right there with 2 bolts, and there's a hanger right there. The hangers they design on these systems, if you don't know, are really nice. They have these little hooks at the top of them so that even when they're unbolted, they're still stick to the frame, so you can kind of take it off when you're ready. You don't have to sit there and try and hold the bolts on the whole time. So basically what I did, though, since I already had the H pipe on, was I just pulled it off from the front of the H pipe there where you see those 2 clamps, and I took it off. As you can see over here, got the stock mufflers, and the way that the Solo pipes came in the package, I'll show you in a second. But I basically cut off of there forward, where you can see. But let me show you what I'm talking about with these Solo pipes. Basically, the only way you can really mock it up to measure, if you have a weird Frankenstein system like me, is you take the point where you cut before from the H or the X pipe, if you have it, off with the stock muffler, pull that whole assembly off, and I just laid the whole Solo pipe assembly from there back on top of it, and literally just kind of matched up the hangers, put the hangers on top of each other, and just cut it like that, and it worked out okay, it seems like. So that's really the only way you can do it. There's not really a way to mock up the Solo pipe or the Solo Performance pipes while it's on the car. So you kind of got to pull the stock mufflers off to match it up and really get a good accurate cut on there. So I did that, and then I just sawzalled it off. The lines I marked with a Sharpie. Did it on both sides, obviously. And I stuck those little intermediate pipes, the portion of the stock pipes that I had to reuse. I stuck that back on the H pipe first, and then you got to make sure this front portion here, you put that in first, and then kind of bring the back end up to mate with that stock pipe. Otherwise, you're going to get the front of the hanger up here is going to get stuck on the back of your rear valence here. Other than that, it's pretty self-explanatory. One of the reasons I really like the system when I was looking is because I wanted something that was 3 inches, and actually most of the Axlebacks you see for these cars They stop about here-ish, and you have to cut and clamp still, and that's fine. So basically you have to cut for almost all of them if you're not doing a full catback. They stop out there, and then you got to go 2.5 inch back unless you had some other custom pipe situation, which sounds like a pain in the ass in and of itself. So I wanted something that extended back 3 inches a little bit further, which these do, so they give you a little bit more flow. Obviously, you know, you're still 2.5 back. The H pipe is 2.5 inches as well. So, you know, you're not a full catback technically over the stock system. But I wanted something that was 3 inches. And I wanted something, as you saw before, these tips, they're 4.5 inches, and they're fat. I mean, they fill out that little hole for the tips in the muffler, or I'm sorry, in the rear valence there. And they do a good job with that, and they look really good. And they do come in chrome or black. Now I should mention that Solar Performance right now is running like a deal on eBay. This is like a $400 system, which really is a great price for it. They're running a deal on eBay where you get black tips upgraded for free if you want. The chrome tips also look good. And you can see the beveling here in the tips is really what I like as a, you know, for my exhaust. The way it comes out on the side looks really good too. And I'll show you in a second something else that's really cool. Sorry, like I said, my car's really dirty. So the way that they engineered this is really smart, because what you have here is essentially, you know, when you're trying to adjust the tips and, you know, how they match up with the valence on, you know, a normal catback that's muffler with just a tip, you know, already welded to it. The problem is that you have to go through adjusting the hangers and, maneuvering pipes and reclamping and unclamping things just to get it to match up right where you want it to adjust it. But what they did, Solar Performance did, was they had this little kind of coupler here that makes up really nice. It's a really nice solid piece, honestly, and these pipes are really good. I should mention they really quality work. But this allows you to swivel it basically 360 degrees and match up the pipe however you want. Now I should mention that it looked like you could adjust the tips outward and inward where you wanted them, but there is a point where it stops right here. It will not go in any further, which I thought was, you know, I didn't think that was going to be the case, but that's all right. I mean, they match up really well in the valence where I'd want them anyway. So, but yeah, I thought this was a really great piece of engineering right here. And then that brings me on to the next thing that really turned me on to this system, especially for the price, was this. This is a J tube, or I think in this case a half-wave resonator. Essentially that's designed to eliminate the drone in cabin while you're driving. I mean, obviously, you know, there's a lot of exhausts out there that, you know, sound really good, but they get a lot of drone, or if you want one without drone, you have to kind of compromise to get one that doesn't sound as good. And, you know, this is a really nice compromise, because I'm going to show you in a second. I'm going to start the car up. This sounds really good, and you get, you know, a droneless interior as well. So it's really the best of both worlds, especially being the 3-inch piping and the fact that you can get black or chrome tips for no extra charge, and the fact that the tips are 4.5 inches. So really, I think this is just the best option, absolutely, especially once you hear the sound. I think you'll agree. The hanger placement is good, the welds are good. It comes with the right size clamps. There's no, you know, drama. Honestly, I'm one of those people who I usually expect that when I endeavor to install a new mod, something's going to go wrong. I just know that. But this, there really wasn't anything. From the cutting to the design to the mocking up and everything, it was just 100% good. So there's the quarter-wave resonator, the half-wave resonators in this case. And it looks like these clamps here are actually adjustable too. I'm not really sure what, you know, moving that in or out is supposed to do, but it is if you want to, and you know. Maybe you can tell me. So yeah, let's go ahead and start this bad boy up and see how it sounds.